So thank you, Lavelle. My name is Trisha, and I'm from the Great Plains Action Society team. And this is our second webinar interview with Lavelle Wells. And this is part of our Riverland Native Voter Project initiative. It's a voting native voting initiative, and we recently just made a partnership with VoteMob, which is right under Movement Voter Project. So we're very happy with that announcement. If you'd like to access our webinars, our interviews, zines, and other content, you can do so at www.greatplainsaction.org/RNVP. Let's get right into it. So this is Lavelle Wells, and I'll kind of let you introduce yourself and where you come from, and what you do currently in Omaha.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Lavelle Wells. I come from the Omaha tribe. I come from the Elk Clan. My native name is Umpatunk, means in Big Elk. I live in Omaha most of my life. I did live on a reservation for, I think, half a kindergarten a year or whatnot. But I have a lot of family up there. What I do, I've been in Omaha. What I do now is kind of like, as I get older, you know, I see there's a lot of stuff that hasn't changed for my native people. I say to myself all the time, if I don't speak on it, who's really gonna speak on it? I'm in the community all the time. My boots are on the ground. There's a lot of other people speaking for the native people, but I don't believe they're in the spaces where I be at sometimes. Therefore, they don't get some of the perspectives that I get to share. I am president of a nonprofit. It's called Big Elk Native American Center. I'm currently the only one left. I do have some elders that's still on the advisory board, but sometimes it's just hard to get some good people on there with the right intentions. And I get that too, because most of our people, we come from poverty situations. And because of that, when sometimes money come involved, things get kind of hectic or whatnot. So I get it, you know. But yeah, anyhow, I'm looking to rebuild my team, my organization as I move forward. Currently, I'm a mentor to the Native youth. I'm a mentor through the YES program, and I'm just advocate for all my natives. I mentor like 2 young adults right now, natives or whatnot, and just, you know, me growing up in Omaha and being biracial, coming from both backgrounds, Black and the natives, you know, grew up like in the projects. You know, we was kind of like the only one of few native families growing up in the projects. So we was basically accepted, you know, our struggle is the same. So some people say I grew up Black on the reservation, and sometimes they can't understand that, or sometimes they biases get in the way of accepting us. But that's all right. I get that. There's a reason behind that. But anyway, I'm working on getting some other business programs and whatnot going. So kind of that's it, I think, you know, for now.
Right on. So let me go ahead and get right into it. So obviously with the COVID-19 pandemic, we obviously are going through a lot with the recent deaths of George Floyd, and not only George Floyd, but James Scurlock in Omaha, Nebraska. I wanted to take a moment of silence, and not just for them, but for everybody who has been a victim to police brutality. And I also want to throw in Zachary Bear Hills and the family there. So I just want to take a moment of silence for them. Great Plains Action Society team would like to make it very clear that we stand in solidarity with our Black communities, and we uplift their work. So it's really just emotional. It's been very emotional just with everything going on. The year 2020 has taken us, a lot of surprises have happened. And, with the death of George Floyd, how did this affect you, Lavelle, your family, and your community?
Uh, it was heartbreaking to see that, although, I'm kind of desensitized from violence because of my background. At the age of 15, 16, I was involved with gangs, was the first generations of gangs when they flew here from California. And I seen a lot of violence, and for the most part, a lot of stuff don't trigger me, but seeing him killed like that was something else, and it just makes anger, for me, what has really changed, do they really respect us, the mainstream society? And being of both cultures, I'm looking at it from the Native perspective and the Black perspective. So it's kind of like hitting me twice as hard almost, uh, it's crazy. And I'm in a community, like I said before, and everybody was upset, it's just, Omaha is not that big, but, so you get to kind of feel the anger from everybody.
Right, right. So I was at the third annual Zachary Berryhill's Walk Vigil in Omaha a few weeks ago, where you had spoke about Zachary Berryhill's case. Would you like to talk about the Zachary Berryhill's case that had happened in Omaha, Nebraska?
Yes, absolutely. Another case that was triggering. When we seen that, it was heartbreaking. I was there when they first showed it in person, when Don Klein and the chief of police, I was down there with the late great Dr. Frank Lemire, and it was really heartbreaking. My God, I was like, as Native people, we've been through so much already, and to see this so blatantly, pulling his hair, striking him, tasing him, we're like, how can this be? So in that case, I've been an advocate for justice for Zachary. I met his family, very nice people. In them circumstances, how it went down. My God, anybody should have been convicted of that. It was plain to see to be convicted, and then for them not to be convicted, oh my God, it's just. It just tells you where we as society and what they think of Native Americans. We don't matter for the most part. We really don't matter. Yeah, it was horrific. But I kind of understand where. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, just to piggyback off of that,
Yeah.
I know that the 3 of the 4 officers were reinstated, and then Scotty Payne was never charged with the murder of Zachary Berryhill's, and I believe the defense is called excited delirium. They're using mental health as an excuse to go out and murder our brothers and sisters in broad daylight, and it's just because I know that they had mentioned that with George Floyd, and I just wanted to kind of explain excited delirium. From what I understand is that, when somebody is experiencing mental crisis, that their temperature rises, and poor Zachary, when he was kicked off the bus in Omaha, it was already a hot day. So, and then he was actually experiencing a mental crisis. So you put that on top of that, plus this was not anywhere that he knew anybody, just unknown territory. And I think that defunding the police this is where this conversation comes in. A lot of people, I think they get the misconception of defunding the police means take the police away. It's actually, placing these other services and these other, organizations that can help and step in cases like this, especially with mental health. Because now I feel like the police officers, that are very questionable, with their backgrounds of discrepancies and behavior and disciplinary actions, they're out here on these streets. And it's flooring to me that 3 of the 4 officers are back on this, the Omaha Police Department. So I just wanted to kind of interject that. Do you know if there's any other current updates or current situation with what's going on with the Omaha? Like, I think the Omaha mayor had made it very clear that she wasn't going to do anything, but I don't know if anything has changed since then. So,
to my knowledge, nothing really has changed. Really, we have a meeting with our mayor. I'm on the Native American Mayor Advisory Board. We have a meeting next week. Sometime next week. So it's going to be very interesting. We requested for the mayor to be there, because actually she only been there one time since we started this board, and it was just kind of like a meet and greet and see you later, basically. Same thing, what Frank Lemire had said. They were just going to pat us on our head and just shoo away. Indians, that's what they've been doing. But I'm more fired up now to be more, to elevate the voice of our peoples, because for too long we silence and basically we tired. I know I'm tired,
right.
And so.
Right on. So being that that you are Black and Indigenous, do you feel the need for Black and Indigenous communities to work together on these issues? What would you like to see in the future for Omaha and all around the world?
Absolutely. We like I said, our struggle is synonymous. It's the same. We have the same common denominator. That's kind of like, I hate to say oppression, but I can't think of no other word almost, because our behaviors are behind that. We have oppressive behaviors amongst each other, and I believe that happened with them being the Black officers that actually killed Zach. There's a saying, when the oppressed becomes the oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the slave days, they fought. They made slaves fight each other into sometimes to death. And being marginalized communities, and coming from where I come from, I was part of like I said, the gangs or whatnot, and it was cool because it was cool to kind of like hurt our own peoples. And that happens and I know that happens in all communities. And me speaking of being a Black and Native, and it happens in the Native community. So I'm seeing on both sides. And I think that's what happened. So it's easier for us to hate on each other. And there's something mental in our head from the oppression that make us think like that, make us act like that. That needs to be addressed. And yes, definitely, me being of both communities, I would like to us to know each other's culture more, do some more research in, and get rid of some of the biases that we may have against each other. So, because we need each other, this basically, we built this. This is our land, and the slaves built it. So in that case, we ought to have unity for the most part. I mean,
right on, absolutely. That's something too. The term BIPOC is kind of catching some heat too, and I just want to kind of address that, because I know we were using it, but we just don't want to lump all of our oppressions together and just call it oppression, because we all know that different people have suffered through colonization in different ways. But I feel like coming together is going to be more empowering. It's going to be impactful, and it's really time to make that change. So I guess my question is to you: how have you implemented the change within your own community, in your own circles, or what do you plan on doing?
Well, I'm I just recently, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was honored to speak at the Malcolm X peaceful rally for Black Lives Matter through the Black Agenda Alliance. I believe they hosted it. It's an amazing group, and I plan on working with them guys, with the Malcolm X and the guys over there. So I just haven't set it up. I spoke with the president, and we made a agreement to have a meeting in the future. So really soon, we're gonna have a soon. I want to have like maybe a powwow, you know, so we can get to know each other, because there's a lot of stigmas out there that needs to be addressed, and some of these barriers that's keeping us apart. So we can come together in some unity, you know, and get rid of whatever the case, you know, because like you said, our powers is in numbers, you know, and far too often our native people, especially in the city of Omaha, is missing. There's not you can't even say a designated place where the natives are be at, because we so spread out. Uh, but I plan on working on some more initiatives to get that going.
Right on. All right. With the upcoming election, we have a lot of different opinions about the presidential candidates, and Great Plains Action Society is taking a very realistic approach to that. So we're encouraging our Native voting initiative is encouraging people to get involved locally. How can individuals get involved in your community? What would that look like? How can you encourage people to do that?
Well, I think just recently, last week, I was on a Zoom meeting with the Heartland organization, and they working with minority communities to empower more voting. Specifically, this young lady named a friend of mine, Wyshell Davis. She can be reached at her organization. I was trying to get her to maybe make an appearance today, but something came up. But I'm working with her, and her organization is going to really empower, I think, my native people to get out there. And I think for us, we just want to be included, because far too often we just not even mention, when you mention brown and black, I mean, you know, the brown is like more for the Hispanics or whatnot, but the natives are not even included. I think that's maybe part of the problem. Just like I said, I just plan on just stepping it up some more.
Right on. All right. Is there anything else that you would like to get out there? Any recent projects, or I know you had mentioned in our previous conversations about a construction project that you were doing. Anything else? Social media links, anything?
Well, I do have my Big Elk website is still up and running. I'm accepting members, whatnot. I'm just open for any allies that want to come on board, help. You know, because sometimes it's not sometimes it is hard. Sometimes I feel like I'm on an island, and I don't know who want to help me, or who wants to help the natives or whatnot. But I think if you go to my website, it's called Big Elk Native American Center, and express your thoughts, or if you want to be an ally to help out, it'd be a great place to help my cause and help the Native American events. Also, I volunteer. I go to through the RISE program. You know, it's a prison program. They go inside and help the residents in there to become entrepreneurs, and to make to try to be like have a plan for when they get out. And then I that's another thing, I volunteer. And then I work another one. I volunteer through another program to us called Nebraska's Writers Collective. I go inside the prisons, and we help the residents there write poetry. So one day I go talk to the Harambe group, which is primarily African Americans, and then the next day we go talk to the NASCA program, which is primarily the Native American folks. So I'm not a poet, I'm an aspiring poet. I go in there basically to try to talk to the residents in there about my life experience. About half of them know me almost through my former lifestyle or whatnot, So they kind of relate to me. I can relate to them. They can relate to me better. And so I do that to try to just uplift my my peoples in there. Just, you know, for the ones that's getting ready to come out, so they can be better people in society.
Right on. How can people get a hold of you? Do you have any social media handles, or just follow you at your website?
Yeah, just through my Facebook, Lavelle Wells. You can message me through that. And then that Instagram. I don't know. I don't really use Instagram so much no more.
That's okay. We're all learning how to do these digital tools, so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your perspective with us. As always, decolonize the system and empower your vote.
Don't scare Negroes today with no badge or no white skin or no white sheep or no white anything else. The police the same way. They put their club upside your head and then turn around and accuse you of attacking them. Every case of police brutality against a Negro follows the same pattern. They attack you, bust you all upside your mouth, and then take you to court and charge you with assault. What kind of democracy is that?